Hi, welcome to another VITA learning video. I'm Jim McGuire. Today we're going to go over the Smart.Fire and the settings of your device. So if you've previously set up your desktop screens, you had an opportunity to go through and add various materials and so forth. And during that, you also set up your date, your time, centigrade, Fahrenheit. But let's say that you wanted to change any of those initial settings. So you want to have this panel down. If you don't have this panel, if it's not shown on your desktop, you can go ahead and just anywhere in the upper right hand corner, just do a short touch and it'll bring down this panel. This is your settings button. So this is where you can access many items. So let's go through these. On the left, the V pad, you will now be able to reset and go to factory settings. If you click this, you will delete all programs, all desktops, and it will set you at the very beginning, your initial setup stage. This, of course, is the country settings. So you can change the Celsius, Fahrenheit, the time format, date format, and the country settings as well. This here is the date settings. So here's where you can change any of your time zones, any of your AM, PM, and so forth. The backup, this is a quick way to copy and paste all of your desktops from the VPad into a memory stick. So if you click that, you will be able to create a backup or import a backup if you have it on a memory stick automatically. So if you click on create backup, it will tell you what to do. Insert a memory stick. You then do the touch button, and now it will overwrite, and it will any icons that you have on your memory stick, if they're named the same thing, this will just back it up and move it, copy paste from your desktops into the memory stick. I'm going to go ahead and OK that. It will go ahead and transfer, back up all of my desktops into my memory stick. Depending on how many desktops, this may take a few seconds. So it was created successfully. I'm going to click S. This is sound settings. Just as it seems, you can change your sound settings, the tone, the level, and so forth. So whenever you navigate through your desktops, your screens, you can either check mark it or exit out. It'll bring you back to the screen. Now this one here is to actually look at individual programs, settings for your Smart.Fire furnace. So this is where we can do temperature offset. If your muffle is aged quite a bit, you have thousands of hours on your Smart.Fire, it may be possible that you can reset a default where that it can trick itself into thinking it's 10 degrees colder or 10 degrees hotter by changing this number. This is where you can change your standby temperature. So if you don't like it at a standby, an idle temperature of 400 degrees, you can change that to anywhere you want within the parameter. So if I don't like it 400, I want to set it at 500. I will go 500, tick mark it, or go next, and now my standby temperature has been changed to 500. This tells you on the cleaning, so all furnaces should be periodically cleaned. This is a firing cycle that brings it to a very high temperature and burns out all the various contaminants, possible contaminants that's in your muffle. This you should maybe change and have at least every 100 hours. So you can deactivate it if you don't like it. You can activate it, okay? You can execute it by clicking on the execute. It brings you to the automatic cleaning cycle that's built into this. I'm going to back out of this by using the back arrow. It brings me back to the screen. Silver test. Silver test 1, silver test 2, If you feel that your furnace may be underperforming or overheating, you can do a silver test. And this brings a little silver rod and it will melt it so that you can adjust the temperature accordingly. The leakage test, of course, is to check your vacuum. Those of you that have a vacuum, if you're not sure, you want to check it to make sure it's operating correctly, you can check your vacuum pump. The auto standby, this is where we could turn it on or off. If you don't want that message popping up every time to ask you whether to auto standby, you just untick the tick mark. If you'd like that, if that's okay to have that message after every cycle, just leave it tick mark. All right, so vacuum programs available or visible. This is just to allow so that on your firing programs that the vacuum programs are also available to use. I'm satisfied with everything I've done. You can tick mark it and go back. Now this is where you can see the revision, the software revision of your Smart.Fire furnace and your VPAD to check to see whether or not you need an update. So this gives you the hours of operation, the software version of the furnace and the VPAD, the serial numbers of both, and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and go back. And this button here, of course, is your update. So if you have an update from the VITA website for your Smart.Fire, you can download that onto your thumb drive, insert it into the back of your VPAD, and then if you touch this tab here, it will search for that update, and if you have it on the USB stick, it will find it and it will update your software. So you can always go back to the main screens, always the back, and that brings me back to the original desktop screens. Thank you for joining us on this VITA learning video.